Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. So you're locked and loaded with me for the next 60 minutes of conversation. I'm so glad to have you all with us in the room on today. So, hey, it started just like 106 in Park. When we were kids, the commercials would say, hey, go tell your neighbors 106 in Park was on. Bikes would be dropping because everybody was coming in. Straight Talk is on. Call your neighbor, call a friend, call your play cousins down the street. Tell them it's time to get into it. We've got a great conversation and a great show for today. For those of you who are listening, you know that it's been a minute. So I had to just kind of take a break, take a deep breath, relax, relate, release, give myself a moment to woosah over everything that has taken place over the past, 2 weeks. Needed a break. Heartbreaking Super Tuesday on November 5th. We're going to get into that and other things. My special guest today in studio will be none other than Saginaw United's the Rising Phoenix. He is going to coach. He is here with me today, Mr. Julian Taylor. You'll see him in just a hot second. But before we get to all of that stuff, I know that some of you have been waiting for me to share. I've gotten some text messages, emails, direct messages saying, hey, what are you going to be talking about? And you need to cover this, that, and the other. So I'm going to pick up where I left off right before Super Tuesday. The city is, well, first of all, let's start with the national situation. What's interesting to me is good evening, Sharice Steele Phillips. You're the first one in the social media stream. Good evening to you. Hey. Let's get everyone in here. Let's get the family to talk. But what I would like to say is, no one was really surprised. Well, let me correct that. The only persons that were surprised by the outcome of the election, I think for the most part, were our liberals. Those white liberals that are out there that just thought that America was such a different place than what they found it to be. And what I mean by that, I'm going to get into the weeds on this. Remember, this is Straight Talk. You may not like what I have to say, but this is my show. I'm going to give my opinion. But anyways, what we talk about here. So going into this election, we understood there was only, 100 days or so that Vice President Harris was chosen, went through the process, being selected. When she ran for president, there was a lackluster desire for her to be president the first time around. That's why none of y'all voted for her. And she exited the race early. And so as we look at it, hey, the issue was not her. And once again, I can pretty much say that the issue was not Black America. Black women in this, when we look at the numbers and we play with these numbers, we take a look at them, Black women overwhelmingly voted for Vice President Harris, somewhere around 85% or higher. When we look at Black men, this is concerning, but Black men voted pretty much 20% of Black men. I said 80%, 98%, nearly 100% of Black women voted for Harris. When we look at Black men, 80% of Black men voted for Harris. I mean, it's 20% of men that are part of the voting population. I think that's the other thing. We look at that as 20%, but it's 20% of the entire electorate. There are more Black women involved in that process than there are Black men. But nonetheless, we got 20% of brothers out there that felt like number 45, now 47, resonated with their politics. I think it's funny because when someone plays in your face and they make comments like, hey, I'm a felon now and my mugshot, who loved my mugshots? Black men. They loved my mugshots because now they can relate. And say racist things like that, we allow those things to take a pass. And one of the reasons, especially for young Black men, is because history has no effect. I often share with people that history is lost on the young because when we got our freedoms, we failed to talk about the story. We failed to share what it took to get it. We failed to continue the legacy of learning and the legacy of understanding of what it meant for us to overcome and what it took for us to overcome. And so as we look at that, there's no surprise that when you talk to most Black men that are very young, most young Black people, period, they have a very poor reflection of what it took for them to get the freedoms that they take for granted. So anyways, but Black men overwhelmingly voted for her as well. But what the interesting thing is 52% of white women voted with their white husbands. We knew that white men were not voting for her. And I said this to you all before that, we're looking at this and we're like, well, why are black men? Well, because she married to a white man. Let's be honest. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. This is not Michelle Obama who's running for president. This is Kamala Harris, who comes from California. She's been otherized before coming to this political stage, and she's married to a white man. You see her hugged up to a white man. And for many of and I don't care, you love who you love. Love is love, right? But for many people in our culture, in our community, that is problematic. Not to mention, she also was ultra liberal in terms of where she came from. In a time when both black men and white men feel as though who they are and masculinity is being targeted, and they can't say or do anything, and everyone is appealing to the others, quote unquote. I can definitely understand how some of those men would feel the way that they do. Now, as it relates to white men were not voting for that black woman from the beginning of this thing. It wasn't happening. And I'm talking about majority. When I say this, I'm not talking about all white people, because I know that there's a particular individual out there who seems to think that I cannot tell the truth historically about how things are and how things are today. Man, you can't keep talking about white people. I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about where we are culturally. I'm talking about where we are politically and where we are economically. So if I have to have a radio show and I cannot tell the truth, then take me off the air. I'd rather be silent than not be able to be honest about what we're saying. So, kind sir, I hope you pay attention and listening, because I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So white men were not going to vote for her. There was a movie, and I reference this movie oftentimes, back in the 1980s, dated myself a little bit, called Falling Down. I think it was Kirk Douglas that played in it. And the premise of the movie is he is your average white American, male, white American man, and he is frustrated in life. He's getting to a place that he's ready to cash in all the chips and just crash out. Why? Because he is going through a divorce with his wife. Because he's a man and he doesn't have any rights in the court system. He's mad because now he has been the breadwinner. He has to pay child support. His wife is breaking up with him. She's got a new sensitive man that she's interested in. There was issues with him not being able to see his kids that he wanted to because the courts made mandates. And, so he goes from that when the next thing he enters into a situation where he was applying for a job. And, as they are saying, which is the lie of DEI and was it a lie with affirmative action. The story goes on to say that he didn't get the job because there was a black person that was trying to get the job. And so he was upset about that because once again, the world is against him, right? Falling Down, for those of you who are just coming in, Kirk Douglas, back 1980 something. And then he goes and he's doing another something that's going on, and he's being called homophobic because there was a gay person that he said something to, and he was really just speaking his heart. He wasn't really considering the fact that the person was gay. I don't even think he knew he was. But then he began to be talked about because this person who's gay now is calling him homophobic, and people start. So this, what the nature or the concept of this story is about is that we see a white man who is struggling with his current position in a browning America, in a more diversified America, in an America that no longer celebrates solely white privilege. His privilege is now being challenged by the fact that there are other people who are qualified. There are laws that are now in place so that people have rights, and white men could not typically have the advantage that they've had. And he struggles to the point that he eventually gets into a place. He runs into a surplus store, and he runs into a neo-Nazi who he thought understood who he was. And the neo-Nazi ended up being crazy. And so he gets to a place that he is just ready to end it all. He grabs a gun, and that is kind of the premise of the story. So I can understand, relate to the idea that white people, they're coming and taking your world. White men, they're taking away your world. Because there's a lot of you who feel that way. How do I know so? Let's go back to November 5th and look at the numbers. But what we also saw, and this is kind of heartbreaking for many white liberals who were thinking that women would stand up for their own rights, because we've seen on November 5th that they were willing to deny their own, what was best in their own interest, for racial preservation. And that's what it was. They voted with their white husbands because they're tired of DEI. They're tired of other people having opportunities in this country that seemingly take them down and takes away what is really considered privilege, and they want their country back. And what's interesting is how many Mexican Americans, Latino Americans, and all other individuals of Latino or Mexican descent, Hispanic descent, were willing to go with Trump when he says, we're going to deport them all. I'm like, how in the heck do you think your fathers got here? Your forefathers. And he says, oh, he's talking about criminals. I said, I was talking to a group of 5 Mexican men, Hispanic men, who were all felons, who didn't think that they could vote. He says, well, he's getting rid of the felons, all of the bad people. I'm like, dude, you're Hispanic and you're a felon. Who do you think he's talking to? You're it. Tag, you're it. So that is that issue. So when we look at what's going on, the real story, tell the story. Black Americans have been saying, hey, there's something that's warped. You can't take a system that was not meant for us as people. We were considered 3/5 human. And then because of rules and regulations, we made or carved out a place for us in this system. You can't just change the system because the system is doing exactly what the system was supposed to be doing. We have to change how this system operates. There needs to be changes, not only to the system. We need to create and develop a new system that is both understanding of who we are as a great nation, not as a melting pot, but as a tossed salad. I want to remain who I am and be identified as who I am. And so many of us understood the plight that was against us. We would not say those parts out loud, but I'm saying it out loud now. And on November 5th, many of our white liberal counterparts, those who are allies to us, woke up surprised that white women chose to vote with their white men. And it's unfortunate. So they have some reckoning to do. And now we see the great appointments that are going forth. A man who is charged, not necessarily charged, but is expected and investigated for sexual crimes and illicit drugs and things of that nature. I'm talking about Matthew Gaetz, now standing to be confirmed as the Attorney General. Then we got folks out there who are treasonous as it relates to America, saying awful things about America, being appointed to cabinet positions by this current administration. And then we've got the biggest wackadoodle whack job that's out there, the anti-vaxxer, anti-reality, whose family didn't even understand and came and spoke out against him because of the danger of him as it relates to healthcare, is now being positioned to be the top of our healthcare department for this nation. So, America, you voted for it. I love the process. I'm glad that people got out and voted, but we'll now see. I think a lot of folks our economy was better than it is now. Because they were talking about stimulus dollars. They were talking about all of that extra unemployment money. That's what you remember that was better. But if you remember, we only got that because there was a major pandemic, and the monies that were pushed with the name Trump on it were the reason why we now suffer from inflation. You can't print money where it's not attached to labor or anything else and not expect inflation to incur in that next quarter, the next few years. And that's exactly what we see. So that's that. Now we're going to bring it home to some of our local things, and I'm going to talk about, oh boy, some of the local stuff that's happening here. Congratulations to Alyssa Slotkin being able to fulfill her position. And then also here, more locally, District 8, we have Kristen McDonald-Rivet that took Kildee's old position. And I think we're looking at that. So there's a vacancy that exists there. Then we look at what's happening here in Saginaw as it relates to Saginaw City Council. And what I want to say, whether you live in the city, you live in the township, the surrounding areas, what happens in the city of Saginaw affects every single individual here. Many people don't understand the economics behind this or how these systems are interconnected, but you will very soon. There has been a lot of discrepancy about things that are going on. Congratulations to those who made city council. I know one of those individuals, Carly Hammond, has a brief conversation with her before, and she says, Kareem, I'm going to get on the city council. I mean, I'm running unopposed, which I thought was a bit arrogant, but I liked the conversation that we had. There's a bit of privilege that comes when, this is natural. It happens. But she ran a great race. She did what she did. She's on council. Monique Lamar Sylvia. She made it back on. Congratulations to Eric Braddock. That was a name recognition because I have no idea who Eric Braddock is, but that last name, and I'm pretty sure that he will tell you that he got on because of his last name. If I would put everybody in a room, 100 people, and say, who's Eric Braddock? It's like, where's Waldo? You wouldn't be able to know who he was. But thank God that we have families who do name recognition. Also, JJ, she ran as Seals, even though she's married. I like JJ, but she understood the power of name recognition. Joyce Seals has been a formidable part of city government. She's now a formidable part of our educational system. Her brother is the head of Chamber of Commerce. I'm not going to come up here running as JJ Jacinta or whatever. I'm going to be Seals when it's time for the election. And people may not like it, but it is legal. It was smart. And so congratulations, JJ. Give him that 1-2 dive. You ducked better than Mike Tyson did in the fight that that play show that they did. But great job to those who are on city council. Now the real work begins. Bill Ostash also on city council, some of those other individuals that are out there. Now I got to make a couple announcements as it relates to what's going on. Now the hard part comes to play because here in the city of Saginaw, we don't have a mayor like other cities where our mayor is very like the strong mayor, but our mayor has to come in with a series of influence. And so now that you're on city council then makes a vote. They all vote, cast a vote. Those city council members, individuals are nominated for mayor, and then it's basically like a popularity contest, or basically who do you think will do the best at leading our community, right? And so we have now, and I keep in mind that there are people who got great numbers of votes because there were other people who were not running this year. So some people are emboldened and think that there is, just as Donald Trump, he thinks it's a call to change everything. No, it's a call because they bought into what you were selling, but it's not a mandate to take over. So I've had these conversations in private, and I'll have them publicly because I'm gonna stand on business with this. We're currently in a situation. I know that there's a number of people who desire to be mayor, but what I'm going to say is this: if you don't have the ability to get into room and to make spaces and to make things happen, the city is on the verge of something that is very great, very powerful. And there are some things that are happening. The worst thing that you can do, because now that you are operating on your own juice as a mayor, that means that you have to have influence, you have to have credibility, and you have to be able to lead all people. Because the mayor of the city of Saginaw isn't just the mayor for the east side of Saginaw. You are the mayor for the entire city of Saginaw and all of its constituents, red, yellow, black, and white. And so you need to be in a position that you understand that and you move forward. There are some people who are excited. I want to be the first this. I want to be the first that. And I think that this is not a time for those selfish ambitions. I think that you need to understand that we are in a time that we need to continue to move forward. I love the way that we have been operating as a city council. I don't like everything. I really didn't like how the opera dollars went. But that was because the city didn't really challenge that. The city residents didn't challenge it. They argued about how come we're not getting money, but they didn't challenge the process on how are we implementing these things. Because whenever you talk dollars, what happens is people want to know what's in it for me. That's why I didn't get into that whole process. I told you that at the very beginning. And so those things are important. Now, this is the thing. Character matters to me. And we have individuals that are interested. And I hate to even bring this up because this is such a dear friend, but when it's on the radio, it's on the news. It's been in print several times. There's a situation currently, Monique Lamar Sylvia, a dear friend. She's probably known me longer than I've known her. Her mother was a sainted mother that I absolutely love. I grew up working with New Alternatives, Monique down at New Alternatives, her and her sister Pam, and I absolutely love her as a person. I'm just dismayed why she would allow herself, as I said with Vanessa Guerra, supporting and endorsing candidates while she's over the votes. Just the look of things does not look well. And now to have, things taking place and investigations coming to a conclusion. There's a question, will there be charges that are being brought? I can't say this with any certainty, but the things that I'm hearing would lend that there very well might be. Now, why is this important? And as I said, this brings me no joy to have this conversation because this is a friend, but it's important because if charges are brought and if something does happen, and this is all hypothetical, but these are things that are very real. If you've been watching TV 12, looking to M Live, this is what's happening. Now I'm going to tell you what I love about Monique is that she's one of those people who shows up for everything that the people do. She's continually fighting about the people. She's loud, unabashedly abrasive, but she's not going to be getting caught up with bombastic iterations of crass politics. She is going to stand up for what she stands up. However, I don't understand why she would jeopardize herself or put herself in a vulnerable position to do what she's doing when she was pretty much locked in to get back on city council. And I guess maybe her desire to see other people succeed is what brought her to this place. But if she is, in fact, charged, that means that we have voted in someone who has those particular issues. If she is, in fact, charges are brought against her, and let's say, for instance, she wants to be mayor, she becomes mayor. Now that's problematic. And anyone who has any issues as it relates like this, because according to the charter, the laws, no one can just remove them. The city can't remove them. Council can't remove them. They would have to be removed by the governor. And so it's a tough situation. So I say keep those things in mind. I also say keep in mind that there are a lot of people who are running around promising things because they feel entitled that it's their time. And I say, there, young man, take your time. Your time will come. But it's once again that spirit of entitlement that we have, just like the nation. We're taking it's my turn. It'll be your turn when it's your turn. And I like these individuals. These are people that I will sit down and have coffee with, but I just need you to understand this is what is at stake. And I know that everyone does not like Brenda Mayer Moore, and people have their concerns, but there are a lot of people who love her. And I know that the city likes her, and I know that she shows up for people. And I know that she sits in rooms where things are being done and where dollars are being brought into the community. I think those things are important. So these are things that I think that are very necessary to have conversations with. There's been a lot of speculations about, who's donating the campaigns. There's speculations about who's all involved in the situation, because even though Monique is at the center of this, she was not the only person on that ramp. Carly Hammond was also on that ramp. And Eric Eggleston, who is at the center of this, was on that ramp. And there were other people that were on phone conversations and whose names show up. So if these individuals are put into place, there's nothing the city council can do to remove them. And so this is important to the city, because as we move forward, integrity matters. All right. So I certainly hope that we get it right. Tomorrow is the vote. I say get some popcorn. There won't be space in the chamber on tomorrow. Because we're going to see right out the bat those individuals who have a self-promotion agenda, who want to be the mayor so they can be the first of whatever it is, because of the power, the positioning, and that's unfortunate. I want someone in our community who's able to continue to do the things that we're doing as it relates. And I want to say this, I got a few minutes before we go to break, and I'll come back with my brother Julian. As it relates to the city, and I want to talk about development. There's been a lot of conversations about the developments that are taking place, and in one particular situation, and I agree with you 100%. Charges doesn't equal guilt. Absolutely, we live in America where we are innocent until proven guilty. The community supports Monique. Absolutely, and I don't disagree. I support Monique, Mr. Bulls, when you're putting that out there. But the fact of the matter is, we've got to be concerned about how we position certain things. And that was my point there. And so it is what it is. It's not a good situation for anybody. It's not good for the city of Saginaw. And it doesn't feel good to have that conversation. But Mr. Bulls, I think that is what we have to do. We have to be honest about what's going on. There's been a lot about development that's been taking place. And I've worked on a number of developments, both here in the community before, and other communities. And I've sat when we were planning to do some development work, and this has been probably 15 years ago, in the city of Saginaw. We went down and we visited Birmingham. We took a look at Detroit. We went over to St. Louis to see, as they were going through their revitalization process, how this happens. And I'm going to tell you, I am a big proponent of the people in the community should benefit from the resources that are in their community. What do I mean by that? I mean that there is a need for us to make sure that we are doing what needs to take place to make sure that when we get dollars in, let me be real plain about it. Anything that happens in the Saginaw community is going to be based upon what is called ALICE population. This is a low income population that not only the city of Saginaw uses, but the Saginaw Township also will kind of color and get creative with their numbers to pull in those same numbers to get money. Now, when they do development, those numbers are not targeted for the development. I've been saying this for the past, since I've been on the air in 2018. That's 6 years. And so we go through something that is called gentrification. Gentrification is when you use all of the tax breaks, the incentives, all of these things, no taxes, then whatever it is, to obtain property, to build property, to get certain benefits as it relates to the zoning of a property. And as you build, but you do not include the population that allowed you to get that zoning, to get those tax breaks, to get those incentives. This is something that has happened in America since the beginning of time. And what I see taking place is something that is very similar. Now, what has happened in other cities, and I see it happening to some degree in St. Louis, that we have to see in Saginaw. It's going to happen. We need the building to happen. We have been blocking off land in Saginaw for a very long time, refusing to give those tax breaks because we wanted to hold on to the land. However, we don't see our athletes, we don't see our business folks and all of these other things coming back with dollars to invest. So we can either continue to operate the way that we have, lacking resources, lacking things that are needed for our healthcare, lacking the things that are needed for our young people, lacking the things that we need for seniors, lacking the thing to really make us a place where people invest. And so what that means is that you have to give investors, builders, developers, things that will bring them in. Now, this is the benefit. Initially, there's not a benefit to the city that is giving up those benefits, though, that is giving up the tax breaks, that's giving up the incentives. They may have to, put ground and make ground ready to build, and then somebody else come in and then they want a tax break. These are normal things that happen in development. You go down to Bay City, I guarantee you it's the exact same thing that happened. But now we see that Bay City has the ability to benefit from things that are going to come forward after this. So it's about positioning yourself. What we as a city need to do, those who are landowners, those who are homeowners, those who are business owners, begin to mandate that in this process, that there are pieces and niches that are carved out into the community that are targeted for redevelopment, re-education, retooling. That there are, when we do building, yes, we want you to do this new building because we want an amazing Saginaw. I want a downtown that's going to rival what's taking place down in Bay City. Why should we have to go somewhere else to have a riverfront dining experience? And it's because we've been fighting to hold on to these things, to buildings that are dilapidating over the past couple of decades because there has not been an influx of cash. So we get developers in, one building, an apartment, a high rise, a school, Saginaw Valley. And when these things begin to operate, what we then see is that there is I don't even want to get into why. I want to thank Dr. Roberts, and people don't understand this is a monopoly play. I want to thank Dr. Roberts for making sure that Saginaw High School, the facility itself, did not completely leave the region, the area where it is. And the reason being is because when people look for places to live, that they're looking for educational facilities. So as long as that is there and that school is being used, it won't be dilapidated. We can add additional years and curriculums and things of that nature to it. And eventually, so if something should happen and say people are coming in and they're going to move into the east side, you can go down the east side right now and you see people who don't look like the people who used to live there walking dogs in the middle of the night. It's happening. So how do you position yourself? And the way that you do that, instead of being antagonistic to the process, you engage those individuals who are stakeholders in this new development, and you make mandates. Hey, this is what we would like to see happen. If you want our tax base, if you want our tax dollars, this is what we need you to bring to the table and have operations. And what I will say is I've had these conversations with key individuals in the medical diamond, and their positioning a place to make sure that those who are Black and brown in the Saginaw community, who are responsible for these amazing tax incentives that are taking place, to be a part of this conversation and at the table. And so that is what we hope to have happen. Mark Rooker, gentrification is not what you stated. The process whereby the character of poor urban areas is charged by wealthier people moving in and involving housing and attracting new business, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process. There is nothing about getting the tax breaks or anything of that kind definition. There is no downtown area displacing current inhabitants. You cannot gentrify anything if no one is living there. Now, Mark, I'll agree with you with that last statement you said. But who is Mark again? Isn't Mark on the board? So he is, I think, a part of what's happening downtown. He and his husband in terms of the development. And Mark, we're friends. Okay, so this is friendly fire. It may not be what it is to you, but it's what it is to those who live in that community, guaranteed. So I appreciate your comment. Thank you for commenting. We're going to take a quick commercial break. If anybody else would like to call, comment, or make a statement, come on. I'm going to share your opinion. Your thoughts are very important. Let's have that conversation. We're going to take a quick break. Stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Welcome to Nada Yada Confessions. Natalie was about to tell us if she ever found the one. Go ahead, Natalie.
Actually, I found two. With Metro, I got the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the Galaxy Watch FE.
Get even more this holiday season. Now at Metro by T-Mobile, get both the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the new Galaxy Watch FE for just $99.99. Visit your Metro store today for this limited time deal. Plus tax. Bring your number and ID. Sign up for Metro Flex Plus and add a watch line.
Ready to kick off your holiday shopping early? Ulta Beauty's early Black Friday event is here with up to 40% off the best gifts for everyone on your list, even you. Snag $15 cleansers from brands like Tula and Philosophy, plus $10 minis from brands like MAC and Urban Decay that deliver big joy in little packages. And don't miss 40% off select YSL and Armani fragrances. Get all the best gifts all at Ulta Beauty. Head in store today.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a MyLowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Order Taco Bell for game day now through November 17, 2024. Second item of equal or lesser value. Terms apply. See app for details.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it up. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, down in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Keys to Progress, honoring veterans. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Sculptor Sabin Howard helped to create the National World War I Memorial. He wants you to remember this.
I want the visitor 100 years from now have the same feeling that I had when I went to go see the David when I was 25. It's a simple thing, but very deep.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Get ready, Mid-Michigan. The leaves are falling and so are my prices. Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. Autumn is here, but forget about the leaves on the ground. My prices are dropping and I want to help you rake in some savings. That means this month only, you could save up to $4,000 on a nicer, newer car based on the price of the car you pick. So even if your old ride is rusted, busted, or fallen from grace, leave it behind and spice things up in a car you love because you could save up to $4,000 this month only. Plus, here at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So visit me to fall in love with a nicer, newer car, and you can save up to $4,000 based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, don't leave me hanging. A deal that's good won't last long. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See my bountiful harvest of rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Vehicle price determines actual discount. Offer absolutely ends November 30th.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Hey, we're back with more of Straight Talk. We are, I'm here. I'm excited to be here with the guy that's across from me. We have known each other for quite a while, but he has no clue how much I have admired what he has done. And really, I want to get in talking about some other things first. What he has done as a man, how he's developed, how he has transitioned from being the man that he was when he was in high school and just after school to being what I consider one of those grade A 4-star general fathers. And that's Julian Taylor. He is the new coach of Saginaw United. Julian, welcome to Straight Talk.
Thank you for having me, Kareem.
All right. I'm glad to have you in the house. Orlando Jones out there. He's got a lot to say. Thanks for bringing the light to what's being done in the dark. It's sad to ride down the streets of Saginaw and see nothing, no people. Absolutely. And I'm one of those people. I want our city. I really love our city. I really do. And I moved out of the city, and it wasn't because I had a desire to, but there was a real situation that was somewhat life-threatening that I had to move in this immediately. And I've been looking for properties back in the city of Saginaw. Pastor in the city of Saginaw. I've been given opportunities where people wanted to give churches to me in other locations, but my heart and soul has been in the city of Saginaw. Everything that I do is in the city of Saginaw. Folks out there from ISD, Saginaw Township, and other schools are saying, hey, we need what you're doing in the city to come out to the township. But my investment and my time and my heart is in the city. So this city of Saginaw coach that we have here, when you look at where we are now, let's go back just a little bit. We did the big showdown and the nostalgia, the excitement, the guys coming back for the final game between Arthur Hill and Saginaw High. Let's just remember a little bit of that moment. What did that mean to you?
Well, it meant a lot. It meant a lot for everybody to come back to put on for our city, for the two teams, the two schools to play the last time at the Dial event, formerly known as the Civic Center, when we came up. It was just an honor to play there, to coach there. That was one of my goals, because I grew up watching teams play there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to coach there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, we took the lump on the head against Arthur Hill, but it was just a great atmosphere, a great experience for the guys.
Man, that was so exciting. Now I did have an opportunity. I did something. I was able to get the station to allow me to do play-by-play for the game. I had never done that in my life, but it was one of those things, when you grow up in basketball, there's a lot that you see that you love. And so I was allowed the opportunity to do that. It was so exciting. So does it look like it's in my cards that I might be able to do play-by-play sometime soon to help out with what's going on at the games? Do you think you can pull some strings that I might be able to sit in and just do color every now and then?
You're a natural at everything, man. So I see what I can do. I can talk to some people and see, maybe we could try it out.
Hook a brother up, man. Come on.
We could try it out a game. Once we get the new facility built, that would be something to think about to do.
Okay, so transitioning from the historic nature of everything that has happened. I mean, this is exciting. And I would imagine for you being a young man who grew up in the system, who played in the system, and now you're the head man of the system. How did you feel when you got the nod? Were you pretty confident that you were going to get it? Because they made some choices, pulling some relics out the closet. I'm like, where do these people come from? But how did you feel when you got the nod?
Well, it didn't take until, I mean, I was blessed to get it. You know, I was humbled to get it, but it didn't take until Coach Direct, the former football coach at Saginaw High, came and talked to me, came to the school, and he said that, you made history. I didn't think of it as that. You're the first African-American coach to be the head coach at Saginaw United. He said, nobody can take that away from you.
You are the first forevermore. And the thing about that is, I think about the great coaches that walk the halls and the gymnasiums of Arthur Hill and Saginaw High. And you are now creating in this new culture, because we're changing culture. We're creating a different dynamic of culture. You are the first, and no one can take it away from you. I saw you on tryouts. One of the young men called me up and said, hey, I need a ride. So I dropped him off. I was letting you know he was a little late because of whatever. So when you look at tryouts, how did you feel about what you were seeing? Because now you are the man. This is you're responsible. People are celebrating you in this moment, but we know when you don't get them W's on the board, man, they're coming for you. How are you feeling in this moment, Jim?
I'm feeling good about it. We had the numbers, the turnout, and it's always tough to cut kids. It's always tough, but I'm kind of used to it now, so it's not as tough as it was when I first started. But we got the numbers, and the guys eager to learn, and that's exciting for the community.
Well, you said something that's really exciting. Terry Reed out there. What's up, T. Reed? He said he grew up in the most basketball talented neighborhood in the city of Saginaw. Where is that at, Terry? I mean, Julian.
Well, I grew up on Cedar. So on Cedar Street, you had Corey Ward.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Terry Reed and Daryl Reed.
Yep.
You had Javon Jackson. He was a player that made a dream team at Saginaw High. You had, of course, myself. Then you had around the corner, you had Andre Beverly. So we had a nice little talent.
That whole block, Cedar, Brown. There was a lot of basketball. I was around the corner of Cornelia Street, but I wasn't making them cuts, but I was on the pavement somewhere balling. But man, you said something about people being excited, having cuts. Mm-hmm. People don't realize how tough it had gotten in the city of Saginaw for basketball. And what I'm talking about is, at one point, a couple of the teams, was there really a need for a cut? When you look at the people that were coming, our talent was dispersed across the city. In two schools that were developed when Saginaw was over 100,000 people, now fighting for the same population, we weren't having major cuts. You were kind of saying, hey, why don't you come out and just sit on the bench for us at least, right?
Exactly. Yes, and that's what it was. At one time, whoever came out for the freshman team made it. I had like maybe 14 kids come out, and they all made the team because we didn't have enough to cut. So that was a tough time.
Yeah, and so I think when we look at where we are, and there's a lot of people who feel a particular way, but we have seen these students, and I've talked with these students. They're excited about their new school. They're excited about their new facility. And I'm excited seeing just the transition of the mindset of these young people. And they're really excited when you are now driving by, if you're picking up or dropping off, or if you're over at SVRC, you see the happenings of something across the river to the left that mirrors and looks a little bit like the building. What's going on over there?
See, you got the kids that they love the atmosphere. It was due. It was due because you look at both schools and how they was pretty much ran down and been up for years. These kids deserve something better. They deserve something new, some up to date, things.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man. And they very excited about that. Little just a small percentage complain about the stairs, but that's to be expected. But they enjoy the camaraderie coming together, and no more Saginaw High, no more Arthur Hill. It's Saginaw United.
It's funny because people swore that they would not work. They swore. I mean, it's sad that we were swearing on the fact of its demise than we were really hoping for its potential and its growth. But but we see that if we position things right, we put people together. The kids were excited. So now it's a new dynamic. But I do want to say a couple of things about this. I was over there, y'all. I went to the new school because I'm in there all the time, right? And I had to go to the 4th floor. Man, when I tell you, y'all remember Suzanne Summers that used to do the buns of steel?
Yeah.
By the time I got to the 4th floor, my legs and my buns was on fire. So this is great. I mean, we talk about childhood obesity. We are building into this thing because kids are not allowed to take the elevators, if I'm correct.
Right.
But it's going to keep them moving, keep them active, and keep them strong and healthy. And so I took the stairs down, but the next time I went, I was like, where's that elevator at? Because I avoid the Stairmaster at the gym. But we're now seeing the emergence of the new field house.
Yeah.
So how exciting is, not only are you the coach, now you see this new field house that is state of the art, that you are going to be the first coach that is coaching there, laying the groundwork for your particular legacy. How does that feel when you see this taking place? Because to me, I'm extremely excited.
I'm very excited about it. It's very exciting to watch. You know, it's being built brick by brick. You know, even though it's not done, not completed, it won't be completed until I guess March. But we get the kids and the players to look something forward to, you know, for them to have something new. We go to other schools like Grand Blanc, they got a new facility and things like that. And Davidson got a, you know, so we can compete with those type of guys. Maybe we can host some tournament games, you know.
Because that was one of the things, having a gym that we could do these things, right?
Exactly.
But even taking into account this, okay, for so long, over the past 4 decades nearly, all young people have seen in the city of Saginaw is demolition.
Yeah.
We've seen houses be demolished.
Yeah.
We've seen schools be demolished.
Yeah.
Buildings demolished. We talk about, man, way back in the day, Jacobson's used to be here, and Stankyos who just kept the peace there. And Sears was here, and they're only memories and relics of our past. And so it's exciting to be able to see young people have the experience of seeing something built.
Yeah.
Like psychologically, I don't think that we understand how important that is when you grow up in a community and everything is being destroyed, being torn down and turned into a field, which eventually becomes a weed field, right? To being able to sit and to see something be built. I am excited as we look at this medical diamond being built. Our kids being able to see someone is investing not only in your community and your education, but now they're building not 1 and 2 story buildings, but we're talking 6-story, 7-story buildings. This is something that we have never seen in this community. And what we don't realize is the intangible impact that is going to make on the mindset of the young people that are here. All right, now we got to get to basketball. I saw some of the young people you had running. I was so geeked to see kids running. Fundamentally, what are you finding as you see these two teams come together?
We still got a lot to learn. You know, both group of guys that come together, they got to feel each other out and learn each other. We had a scrimmage yesterday. We got beat up on, but that was to be expected because I haven't threw anything in. You know, we just been conditioning, getting in shape and things like that, and working on some fundamental stuff. So when we scrimmaged the other day, we couldn't click. But now you can see it coming together. You know, it's going to come together, and guys, they loving each other. They excited. You know, they excited about everything. You know, we got our new practice uniform. They was excited to put that on.
Man, I'm geeked about it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to look at your vision for what's getting ready to happen. What is your expectation? Let's paint a future for the city of Saginaw and greatness in terms of basketball. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Coach Drew Taylor.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything to update your home. Easily create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. With so many styles to choose from, you'll be sure to find plenty of options that you will love. Start your project today and save big on Clearview Cabinetry. Visit Menards.com to view our entire selection of Clearview cabinets today. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
The Michigan Lottery presents a pop quiz. It's almost as easy as new Cash Pop. Question 1. How many numbers does it take to win Cash Pop? A, 1. Question 2. How many Cash Pop numbers do you choose from? Is it A, 15? Question 3. How much can you win playing Cash Pop? A, up to $5,000? Okay, if you answered A, you deserve a Cash Pop. Match 1 and you won. New from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Welcome to Nada Yada Confessions. Natalie was about to tell us if she ever found the one. Go ahead, Natalie.
Actually, I found 2. With Metro, I got the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the Galaxy Watch FE.
Get even more this holiday season. Now at Metro by T-Mobile, get both the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the new Galaxy Watch FE for just $99.99. Visit your Metro store today for this limited time deal. Plus tax. Bring your number and ID. Sign up for MetroFlex Plus and add a watch line.
If you or someone you know were diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant compensation. Call 800-570-0200. That's 800-570-0200.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Get ready, Mid-Michigan. The leaves are falling and so are my prices. Ryan Wasik here from Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. Autumn is here, but forget about the leaves on the ground. My prices are dropping and I want to help you rake in some savings. That means this month only, you could save up to $4,000 on a nicer, newer car based on the price of the car you pick. So even if your old ride is rusted, busted, or fallen from grace, leave it behind and spice things up in a car you love, because you could save up to $4,000 this month only. Plus, here at Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So visit me to fall in love with a nicer, newer car, and you can save up to $4,000 based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, don't leave me hanging. A deal that's good won't last long. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See my bountiful harvest of rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Vehicle price determines actual discount. Offer absolutely ends November 30th.
Finding the perfect gifts for everyone on your list takes time, and the holidays can get a little busy. So let Macy's help you get a jump on your shopping with our Black Friday sale happening right now. It's your chance to find the best deals on the best gifts before the holiday rush, like cozy puffers and coats and more of the season's best styles. So get your gifts at Macy's now, and when you're cool, calm, and collected during holiday crunch time, you'll have yourself and Macy's to thank. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Don't put your golf clubs away just yet. Great Lakes Golf Simulator and Pro Shop inside the Bay City Mall is keeping golf season alive all fall and winter. Right now, get an hour of golf for only $25. That's half off the regular $50 rate. Practice your swing, join the league, or bring your friends for some off-season fun. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com this week to grab your deal. Only 2 purchases per person, so don't wait. Great Lakes Golf Simulator and Pro Shop in the Bay City Mall, where golf season never ends.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more Straight Talk. I'm in the studio with Julian Taylor, coach of Saginaw United. Coach, so we talked a little bit about what you're doing, bringing two teams together, building chemistry. As I said when we were offline, there are a lot of people who are out there that are Julie, but until you get the W's on the board. What is your forecast? What is your hope for this year as you begin to navigate and we're positioning ourselves for the start of the first basketball season? What is your hope? Give me, share with me your vision.
Well, my vision for this team is to develop young character on and off the court, have them ready for every game. We take one practice, one game at a time. A lot of people always talking about y'all should have a state championship team. No, you have to build for that.
Chemistry matters.
Yeah, it matters.
Yeah,
it matters. You can have the most talented team, but if they're not working together, it won't work. So we gotta do a lot of team building stuff and things like that, so they can come together. My goal, is to make as far as we can. It's always a goal from Saginaw to be in the state championship.
Absolutely.
So that's one of our goals. But we're gonna focus on one practice, one game at a time. I try to tell them guys, just stay focused. Don't listen to the outsiders. Just stay focused and just to build the program up. And to where set the expectations high and the level high.
Well, one of the things as you talk about level setting is that don't think that the other cities, the other teams, and are we Class A? Is it Class AA? Class A.
Class A.
As we look at the other teams are paying attention to what's happening in Saginaw. They're taking note. As a matter of fact, I was talking with some of the administration. There are other school districts that were looking at what Saginaw built for their school. And taking notes. And so they're taking notes because they know what's happening in Saginaw in terms of that pipeline of basketball talent that has always been central and a stable that we could find here in our community. So as we look at that, you're saying that we're going to do some great things. I'm looking in my chat out there and I see Reggie Williams and Terry Reed and Orlando Jones. This is not 23andMe. This is not where you find and have a reunion. This is my talk about what we talking about. Nah, I love it when our people come together. My brothers are out there making connections, making great things happen. One thing that you said, Coach, that I really appreciate. Sometimes we get so caught up with an athlete's prowess on the court, but you shared about making making people who were credible, who had character and carry. Let's talk about how important character is to you in the DNA of a great athlete.
Character is very important. The way you carry yourself. And I always tell my team when we was in high school, the athletes pretty much ran the school because of our character, how we respected the staff, respected teachers, respected each other. We were never disrespectful toward no teacher or each other. We held each other accountable. So that's very important. Teaching these young guys to keep God first, and just respect each other. That's as simple what it comes to.
One of the things you did as the coach that I loved, and I would watch this take place, is that you would take your team to church. And this is important. Some people are like, I ain't got to keep, but the reality of it is man needs to be centered and he needs to have a clear mind. He needs to have an outlet, but he needs a spiritual place to center himself. Yes. So we'll be seeing more of that as you create these new athletes of integrity and character.
Yes. I always invite my players to church, to show them. I wanted to show them my side of the life, my side of how I live. I invite them. We have Super Bowl party. I invite them to my house. My wife cooked dinner for them, tacos, punch bowl cake, and the guys come there and enjoy.
Man, I ain't never been to your house for tacos and punch bowl cake. But what you're saying, the premise is this: you're showing them something that many of them may not have.
Exactly.
What it looks like to have a family.
Exactly.
And that creates a place for them to feel safe and at home. So as we begin I love the commitment to integrity and character. That's Reggie Williams II out there saying that to you, Ju. As we look, there's a new game coming up, the first game coming up. When is the first game, Ju?
The first game is November 30th at Saginaw High. We played Detroit Catholic Central. We played the great coach, Torrey Jackson, a great player from Saginaw, from Buena Vista. So it's going to be very exciting. Torrey always does a great job with his teams, and it's going to be a very competitive game.
Well, what's cool is that Saginaw High and Arthur Hill never liked BV anyways. So now, so you can keep the team rivalry going, go out there. Tory Jackson, that's my little bro, man. I'm loving what he's doing. So this is going to be a great matchup of two great coaches and two great teams. So what is it that you want your city to do for you for this first game? Come on, give us a call to action.
Man, I want everybody to turn out and support these kids. Remember, they kids, they're high school kids, they're not pro athletes. They're going to make some mistakes, and just don't be so tough on them. But I want y'all to come out and support and give support for both schools, for both coaches, rather, and the Saginaw United.
All right. And so what's the new colors, Coach?
Black and silver.
I know y'all used to sweet black and gold. That's going to be forever etched in our hearts, but it's black and silver. Yeah. It's going down. Jew, your team will watch you, and the way that you are, that alone will help your players be the people because of your leadership. Thank you so much, T. Reed and Linda Napier out there. She said right on that one. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Julian, I want to thank you, Mr. Taylor, Coach T. I want to thank you for being here on today. I look forward to coming in and the brothers from Help connecting with your young men, because really building a village around the school, that's what we need to do, is so essential to the success of what's taking place. For all of you that are out there, I love y'all. And like the old DJ used to say, love your mother, respect your father, and teach your sister how to be a lady. We're signing off here at Straight Talk. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views